My daddy came down off the log pile, got in front of that deer, and when that deer ran up to him, he grabbed that deer by the antlers and wrestled that deer to the ground.
First.
I'm 6'4". I'm a pretty big guy, but I'm not as big as my dad was. My dad was a hoss. You see down at the bottom of my screen there, it says Sasquatch.
Yeah.
That's my radio call sign because I look like a Sasquatch. But my dad was a hoss, buddy. But he grabbed that deer and wrestled that deer to the ground. But he realized quickly that he had made a serious mistake because he couldn't get his hand in his pocket and get his knife out. And he couldn't let the deer go because that deer was more than he could handle, really.
Yeah.
So he tells me, he says, go to the truck, get on the radio, and call for some help. So I climbed down off the log pile, ran back to the truck, got on the radio, and called and said, Dad needs some help over here with a deer. Well, my 5-year-old self wasn't really clear on what Dad needed. So 2 or 3 of the men from the hunting club came up, and they could see my dad out there in the grass, and they could see his head pop up every once in a while where him and that deer were wrestling. So he's close enough that he can holler back to him, and he says, come out here and kill this deer. And they're like, you ain't got no deer out there. He said, I'm holding the deer. Come kill it. I need you to come get this deer. So 2 grown men and a 5-year-old walked back out there. And neither one of them grown men took a gun with them.
Yeah.
They didn't. And they got out there, and one member of the club, his name was, we called him Shag. Shag was a good old guy. Shag passed away about 2 years ago. I miss Shag. But Shag reached his hand in his pocket and pulled out about a half-dull old-timer knife and said, I'll just cut his throat. And he moved that knife, and that deer went, meh, but it didn't even scratch the deer.
Yeah.
And my dad's still wrestling this deer, and they're still bopping up and down. It's been about 10 minutes at this point, and my dad is very, very tired. So the other one of my dad's friends that was there, his name was Philip. Mr. Philip went back to the truck, got a 30-30, came back, shot the deer. So that ended that. Then we had to drag the deer out. It's time, after you shoot the deer, that's when the work really starts. That's when you got to clean the deer and so on and so forth. So anyway, that story's told, and some people don't believe it, but it really happened. But I will tell you this. My daddy died when he was 83 years old.
Yeah.
And I was 5 when this happened. So this happened a long time ago. But I'll tell you something he never did again. He never grabbed a hold of a live deer ever again.
Yeah. Yeah. They a handful. I've seen it happen.
Yes, sir. And I'll tell you something else. I was 5 at the time, but I learned from my dad's mistake, and I've never done it either.
Yeah.
I carry a pistol, and if I get the one that's alive, I go and take care of business right to start with. I don't want no part. I don't want that smoke. I saw what happened. I saw it firsthand. Strongest man I've ever known wrestling that deer, and I thought the deer was going to get the best of him. So I learned.